Hello everyone, in this video we're going to learn about trig functions and how to evaluate them using the unit circle. So first off, what is sine, cosine, and tangent? So let's say we have this right triangle here, and we have this angle theta, and we have the side lengths of the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse of the triangle. Okay? We can use this acronym SOHCAHTOA to see what sine, cosine, tangent equal. So sine equals the opposite, the length of the opposite side, over the length of the hypotenuse. And that's what that SOH stands for. And then cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. And for tangent, we have this opposite over adjacent. We can also express tangent in terms of sine and cosine. And so what we can do is we can actually just multiply by 1, but the 1 that we're going to multiply is 1 over hypotenuse over 1 over hypotenuse. Okay? And so what that gives us is tangent equals opposite over hypotenuse over opposite, nope, over adjacent over hypotenuse. And we know that opposite over hypotenuse is sine of theta, and adjacent over hypotenuse is cosine of theta. Okay. So how does this relate to the unit circle? Well, on this unit circle, we have a bunch of triangles. So let's take 30 degrees. This is just a right triangle right here. And the hypotenuse is always just a length 1 because this is a unit circle. The radius is 1. And these side lengths are given by the points here. So square root 3 over 2 is like what goes down here, and 1/2 is this side. And so we can use this to evaluate sine, cosine, and tangent. And since the hypotenuse is 1, the sine of any of these angles will just be the y-coordinate, and cosine will be the x-coordinate. And then tangent is just the y-coordinate over the x-coordinate. So let's use that to do some examples. Okay, so first we have sine of pi over 3. So if we know the unit circle, we can just go to pi over 3, which is right here, and we just look at the y value. It's going to be the square root 3 over 2. Okay, so we know sine of pi over 3 is just square root 3 over 2. Okay, sine of pi over 4, we do the same thing. We go up here, we go to pi over 4, we see the y-coordinate is square root 2 over 2. And then now we have sine of 7 pi over 6. And so if we have a full unit circle, we can simply just go to where 7 pi over 6 is, go to the y-coordinate, it's negative 1/2. And as you do this, you want to start to be able to visualize this unit circle so that when you're doing problems like this, you don't have to write out an entire unit circle. You know, another way you could think about it is if you just had this first quadrant here, you could think, okay, 7 pi over 6, it's a pi over 6 like angle. So you're going to use this value, and then you think 7 pi over 6 is in this third quadrant down here, so it's below the x-axis, so it's negative. So it's another way of thinking how to solve that. Okay, cosine of pi, we can go up to the unit circle again. Pi, now we're looking at the x-coordinate because we have cosine, because it's adjacent over hypotenuse. But this time we just have a straight line here. We can still just use this unit circle because cosine of 180 degrees is going to be that negative 1. Okay. And now we have cosine of 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4 is up here. We can use the x-coordinate, actually, not the y-coordinate. And we see that the x-coordinate is this negative 2 over 2. And again, if we draw a triangle here, we can see that this adjacent is what we're looking at when we look at cosine. So you can always think of drawing a triangle. This is just length 1. Okay, so negative square root 2 over 2. Okay, so now we have this cosine of negative pi over 3. So this one gets a little bit more tricky because we actually have to figure out what negative pi over 3 is. So we see that pi over 3 is like this angle right here. So when we say negative pi over 3, it just means you go in the negative direction. You go clockwise instead of counterclockwise. So instead of this way, you'll go pi over 3 negative. And so negative pi over 3 will equal 5 pi over 3. As we see when we go down pi over 3, we get to 5 pi over 3. Okay, so cosine of negative pi over 3 equals the cosine of 5 pi over 3. And we can see what the cosine of 5 pi over 3 is. We see that the x-coordinate is just 1/2. Okay, and so 1/2 will be our answer. All right, so now let's do the tangent functions. So we have this tangent of pi over 3. And so if we go to pi over 3 right here, we just kind of proved over here that tangent of theta equals sine of theta over cosine of theta. So we can use opposite over adjacent, same thing because we have a hypotenuse of 1. So if we want tangent of pi over 3, we can go the y value, which is the opposite, over the adjacent, which is the 1/2. So we would have square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2. And then when we're dividing by this fraction, you flip it around and multiply. So this will actually equal square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. These twos will cancel and you just get square root of 3 as your final answer. Okay, and now let's do tangent of negative pi over 6. So in this example, we see it pi over 6 is this amount, but we want to go in the negative direction. So we're going to go down to 11 pi over 6. And so when we're doing sine over cosine, we have this opposite negative 1/2 over the square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so we get negative 1/2 over the square root of 3 over 2, which equals negative 1/2 times 2 over the square root of 3. And so these twos cancel, and this equals negative 1 over the square root of 3. Now it's generally not good practice to leave a square root in the denominator, even though this is a valid solution. You can get rid of that by just multiplying by square root of 3 over square root of 3. And so you'll get negative square root of 3 on the top, and then these two multiply together and they get rid of the square root, and you're just left with 3. So that is an equivalent answer. Okay, now let's talk about cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So cosecant is just 1 over sine of theta. Secant is 1 over cosine of theta, and cotangent is 1 over tangent. Okay, and so since tangent is sine over cosine, and we're just taking the reciprocal of it, cotangent will also equal cosine over sine. Okay, and so one other thing that's important to note is that these are not equal to this, or it really shouldn't be an angle there. We'll just say inverse tangent of x. These are not the same thing. This cosecant and inverse sine or inverse cosine are not the same functions. And I don't really like this inverse notation. You also might see it as like arc sine. So these are different things. And so I'll actually talk about these functions in the next video, but these are not the same thing as cosecant. So it's important to make that distinction. Okay. So let's evaluate these functions. So we have cosecant of pi over 3. So I think the easiest way to do this is actually just rewrite it in terms of sine and cosine. So we actually just have 1 over sine of pi over 3. And now we know what sine of pi over 3 is. We actually did it up here. We said sine of pi over 3 is square root of 3 over 2. So we just have 1 over square root of 3 over 2, which equals, since it's 1 over this, we flip it and we get 2 over square root of 3. And then if we don't want to leave the square root in the bottom, we can multiply by square root of 3 over square root of 3, and we get 2 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, and for secant, kind of same thing. We can just say 1 over cosine of pi over 4. Okay, and so cosine of pi over 4 is just square root of 2 over 2. We can use a unit circle to find that. And this is the same thing as 2 over square root of 2. But then we don't want to leave this in the bottom. We can multiply by square root of 2 over square root of 2, and we get 2 times square root of 2 over 2. And then these actually cancel, and we're just left with square root of 2. Okay? And then finally, we have this cotangent of pi over 6. So we can put this in terms of cosine and sine as well, or we can just straight up use the values from the unit circle. So we have pi over 6, we have cotangent. So now instead of doing the 1/2 over the square root of 3 over 2, we just flip it and do square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2. Okay, so square root of 3 over 2, let me make it so we can actually read these. Square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2, we keep change flip and get square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. These cancel and we're left with square root of 3. Okay, so that's how you can evaluate trig functions using the unit circle. Simply just want to, I would put it all in terms of sine and cosine because those are the easiest to use the unit circle to find, and then just do some algebra to manipulate it to get a more simplified answer. And so in terms of memorizing this unit circle and being able to do it without the unit circle written out, I think it just helps to at least know this first quadrant, and then you can go from there to get all the other values. Okay, so hopefully that video was helpful, and thanks for watching.